Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Denver Moore. Happy New Year everybody. Today is January 1st, 2021, and today we're making pork and sauerkraut our way. Disclaimer, as always, viewer's discretion is advised. I have a tendency to use really bad language sometimes. I try not to, but you know, if you're a child, I apologize. Mom and dads, I apologize. So, today, pork and sauerkraut. Really simple. As you can see, I got my water running over there because I don't have gloves today, so we're going to be washing our hands a bunch. So inside this pot, this roaster, I got sauerkraut. Just plain old sauerkraut. You can buy it anywhere. You all know how it is. It ain't hard to make. And a lot of people don't like sauerkraut. I'm up here. We're trying out a new camera, y'all, so bear with the camera lady. We're not using my cell phone no more. Now we're actually using a digital camera. And this is the first run through, so these videos are going to get a little shaky and a little changey. But so where I live, I like sauerkraut just about any way. I'll eat that stuff sour, I'll eat it sweet, I'll eat it covered in mustard. I don't really care. My mother will not. And my daughter, yes, Miss Hannah, will not eat it at all. So what I got here is some brown sugar. And I'm just going to put some brown sugar right into that sauerkraut mix. And I'm going to say probably close to 2 cups, knowing my mother. I'm going to mix it up by hand. My hands have been washed multiple times in the sink. You have a zoom button.
My fingers aren't long enough.
She can't use the zoom button, y'all. Her fingers aren't long enough. She keeps like moving the camera around, and I'm not sure she knows what the hell she's doing. Okay, so the rule of thumb with sauerkraut is, you see how golden color that is? That ain't enough for my mother. She's over there shaking her head like, oh God, no. I ain't eating that. So we're going to add about another 1.5 cups. And I know most of you out there in America is thinking, oh my God, who the fuck puts sauerkraut like that? It's brown sugar. Oops, see, I said a bad word. Brown sugar in their sauerkraut. Well, this is the north, y'all. We eat everything sweet. Ain't nothing up here not sweet. That's why we're all fat. Okay, that is brown enough. She's over here shaking her head. Yep. I know, y'all. She's weird. I can't say nothing about it. And as always, when you're doing stuff like this, wash your hands. We don't want to cross-contaminate nothing. Always wash your hands. Don't get tired of me saying that on these videos yet. Wash your hands. At least I'm not talking about the other thing. Oop, I just did. Alright, so over here in this other skillet, she's going to walk over there to the skillet. You'll see I got some hot oil, and it's starting to steam, so I'm going to pull it off for half a second. And I got a pork loin. This is a small one. It's only 4 of us this year, so we ain't making a great big giant one. I leave the fat on. Take a little bit of your Morton season blend that we put on everything over here. And just give it a nice coat. All over that. And if you notice, I left my sink on. I know people are thinking, oh my God, you're wasting gallons and gallons of water. Well, I'm about to touch pork, and I want to go straight over there and wash my hands without having to touch everything. It's on. We ain't trying to get nobody sick. And then the only other thing I put on it is just a hair of garlic powder. Remember, y'all, I don't use garlic salt. Ever. And this goes right down into this burning hot pan. Now, here's the thing about a pan. You want to hear this. If you don't hear that noise when you put just a dribble of water in it, your oil's not hot enough. And then we're just going to sit this right in there like so, and right back on heat it goes. I got this at, on mine is probably right about a 7. Let me wash my hands again. So important to wash your hands. Alright, so I had an interesting thought today. America turned 21 today. 2021. America turned 21 today. Let's hope to God it doesn't get drunk this year, because we're all screwed if it does. Right? Right. And Camberley's like, oh, aw. You know, the thing about 2020 was, it was different, and it made it hard. But we're human. We're good at changing and getting diversified. I mean, there's a million masks right here on my wall. Right there on my wall, a million masks. And tons on my daughter's wall, and tons on my wall. So, you know, we were diverse with it. We stepped up to the game here in Ohio. We wore our masks when we were supposed to. We social distanced. We cut people coming around our homes down. We did everything we were supposed to do to get through, and we're getting through slowly but surely. So, the other thing I wanted to say about 2021 was, remember, you're bringing yourself into 2021 with you. It ain't 2020, but you're still taking 2020's ideals into 2021 with you. If you want a good year, don't bring yourself into 2021. Change those things about yourself, and that'll allow you to have a good year this year. You keep dwelling on what happened in 2020, you can't move on. So now I'm just going to stab this pork real quick and flip it right over, and that's what you want. As one of my favorite Food Network stars, and my mom's favorite Food Network star always says, brown food tastes good. So that's perfect, okay? We're not trying to cook the pork. We're trying to brown the pork on all sides in order to lock in all the juice while it slow cooks in the roaster. I'm going to crank the roaster up to 350 degrees. And that pork is going to lay right down on top of this. And I think I'm going to add just a pinch of water just to help kind of give it a little bit more of a base to cook in so that the kraut don't burn. Because that was pretty dry. Now this was a canned kraut. Me and myself, I like a bagged kraut, but this is what we had this year. This is what we bought. So, oh, remember, this is grease now. This is hot. It burns. Be careful. Last thing we want is anybody to get hurt while we're cooking. See, and we just lock in all that egg. And that's just locking all that good stuff in here, so when it cooks, it'll still be just as juicy can be. Because, listen, y'all, pork is a funny thing. It can be a hint pink, and it's okay to eat. You ain't gotta. It's not like chicken. Pork ain't chicken, y'all. Beef ain't chicken. It does not have to be fully cooked to be edible. Pork can actually be a light pink, and it's a better flavor, and it also is more juicy. I prefer mine that way. A lot of people don't, and they weird out about it, and that's fine. You know, if you like your pork fully cooked, fully cook it. Just because I don't eat something that way don't mean you don't have to. Alright, let that finish off on that last side. I'm going to grab the tongs over here. Yeah, we just did dishes. Don't mind the dishes. So, this is a new year. This is a new year, and things are going to be changing this year. We've got a new camera. I just got a tripod set up, so it's not so shaky. I got a camera boom, and I want to thank, you know, people who helped me get this stuff. But I'm going to be moving this year. There's going to be a whole new kitchen going into our videos here before too terribly long. There'll be a new camera person. My mom will no longer be doing our camera. My daughter will be doing our videos and our editing, and we've got some programs on our computer that's going to allow us to do some really cool editing and things. And as always, you know, if you like these videos, continue to click share, subscribe, like, send them to your Facebook. Tell your friends. It's Cooking with Denver Moore, and we're going to start doing more crock pot meals this year. We're going to start doing more roasting, and then as the year progresses, when summer gets here, we're going to start doing some more outdoor food. Smoking meats. We're going to do some burgers. We're going to do different kinds of things on the fire. We're going to use crock pots and cast iron and Dutch ovens and pull boys and all this cool stuff to make all these good meals. So, alright, this is done. I'm going to close this off right here. Gotcha. Remember, y'all, they got dials on your stove for a reason. Now, before we start this, let me explain something to you. When you put any kind of meat, whether it's a pork roast or beef roast, into a roaster, you put the fat side up. Always. So as that cooks and renders, the juices pour down over top of your meat. Always fat side up. Remember, this is the fat side here, the nice dark side. And here's a good side to look at the back of it before we put her in there. So that's going to go right down there, right into the roaster like so. Okay. I'm going to take that grease right like so, because that's got all that good garlicky flavor. And we don't waste nothing. We don't waste nothing. And another little thing, you know, just so y'all know, when you got grease, if you got an outdoor fire pit you like to cook on like I do, with a big old tripod, stack you some wood on there during the winter and put you a trash bag over top of it so the wood stays dry. And every time you go take your bacon greases that you don't save, because you save some of it, or your food greases like this, take it out there and pour it over top of your wood. That way when you go to smoke your first piece of meat in the spring, that wood sets off this amazing smell, and it almost smells like, makes your whole area smell like bacon. I don't know. I just love it, and it's a trick I do every year to include. So, all we're going to do now is, as we got it set at 350 degrees, we're going to close the lid, and we're going to cook it. It's going to cook. It is 11:33 in the morning. We are going to eat dinner about 6 p.m. So that is 6.5 hours at 350 degrees. At some point through the course of the day, you're going to check this every couple hours. At some point, you have to watch, because if it runs out of liquid, your sauerkraut will begin to burn. So you need to add just a hair more water. I don't never use more than a half a cup at a time, ever. It's okay to have a little extra liquid because it'll cook out, but never okay to have not enough liquid. So I stick with standard half cup. Give it a quick little stir. Take your meat, put it on a plate, stir up your sauerkraut, put your meat back in there for 6.5 hours. The meat will cook perfectly. It will be tender. It will be juicy. I promise you all that. And then right at the very end, we're going to boil up some eggs. Slice some potatoes, I'm sorry. Slice potatoes about a 1/4 inch. For y'all who don't know what a 1/4 inch is. Right like that. We're going to cut potatoes into a 1/4 inch slices. They're going to get boiled into a pot. They're going to get strained when they're soft. You can tell if it's soft when you put a fork in it and it falls apart. That's when the potato is done. We're going to add about a 1/4 cup of milk, 2 big old globs of butter, and it's going to get whipped up into mashed potatoes. And then we'll probably make a side of corn. But for today's purposes, it's pork and sauerkraut. I hope you all have a wonderful, happy new year. I hope you all enjoy your friends and family. And with that, I'm out of here.